Welcome to my healing world. My name is Monica. I'm reporting from Vancouver BC, Canada. And I woke up this morning wanting to document how I became collagen babe. In 1982, I became a hairdresser. I had spent years working in restaurants and hotels in the hospitality business, and it was time to do something that I had control over. And cutting hair was what I chose to express my personal passion for beauty. I worked for a company called Suki's, and it's the #1 hair salon in Vancouver, and it always has been because of its high quality and reputation in hairstyling. I was a cutter. I wasn't a technician. I only thought in shapes. You know, how do you shape someone so that they feel good? I really wanted my hair to be long. And back then, it was the new wave era. So everything I had was shaved and punked up. I always had this like really punked up do, and it was always odd shapes, one lopsided. It was part of the Vidal Sassoon era. That's how you can date me. Way before computers, just photographs and not even video, just photographs. Everything was a photograph. And now it's all different because it's all computerized. You know, we're all reporting how we did something or how we auditioned for things. So I did that for 10 years, and then I ran away to Whistler, BC to be a ski bum. That was in 1988. I had wanted to escape the war news because back then it was the Arab Wars, and they were fighting over oil, and I didn't want to spend my whole day listening to news about wars because I was so sensitive as an artist. I took it on, and so, you know, in some ways my time becoming a vegetarian and spiritual and wanting to be East Indian, you know, studying yoga and eating no meat back then, just put me into hysterics, and so I ran away to be a ski bum. And up there in Whistler, everyone is an entrepreneur. You know, you're aggressive to get on the ski hill, and you're aggressive off the ski hill to make the money to stay on the ski hill. So I was really, you know, enthralled with all the people I was meeting. I wanted to work from home. You know, now I know I'm a human design 6/2 emotional generator, and so my tendency is to choose things that allow me to be a role model and a hermit. The 6 is a role model, the 2 is a hermit. That's something I want to do in the future, is to be an analyst for human design. Just like I had spent 10 years learning astrology, which didn't really click in my way of computing things. I really am very good at human design because it's just pattern recognition. And we all need shortcuts to figure out how our soul wants to be on this planet. I hooked up with this surfer dude. He was my husband. After 7 years, I divorced him because I had suffered a concussion in 1992. I fell off the Grand Canyon, and I couldn't keep up with the athleticism. He was a triathlete. All the people that we met were triathletes, and I was a humbled healer at that point. I had to decide in the 1990s to full-time take care of my injuries. And so I chose to become a deep tissue massage therapist. And then I became a shiatsu therapist in 1997. I worked in spas. I worked for the Vita Spa in Whistler in Vancouver. And I did, massage for 20 years. I had, by the end of it, private clients. I was doing 90-minute massages for $200 in the years 2000. In 1999, I got into network marketing because everybody that I knew up in Whistler was selling something on the side. They were all hustlers, promoters, and always optimizing their bodies. And so I followed along. I really didn't know what I was doing in 1990 because I, first of all, had a fresh concussion, and I knew I saw the future. I knew that the future would have me sitting at home, sharing what I do with people. I wasn't very good in social situations. I would get tongue-tied. I don't have a voice box. I don't have an ajna. I don't have my head center is completely clear. I don't even have a G center. Everything I have is in my roots. So I experience, I feel, I interpret, I dream. I do all those things that a good healer does. And having a way of projecting my information was something I had to develop in the last 30 years. Because it does take practice to get your voice to work, especially if you're only wanting to present the truth in your own way. And so I ended up learning social media in 2008. I went through product after product after product, figuring out, what resonated with me. And I found that I could feel my energy using 0-point field. So in 2010, I did my best to share the feelings I had in, keeping the Wi-Fi radiation off my body by using pendants and wands. It was very Harry Potter in a way. I was ahead of the game because I could actually feel the energy that my body was producing that kept the Wi-Fi radiation off of me. It was very hard to explain, especially since there were no computers back in, 2010 when I was starting this project. I was having to do one-on-ones with people or learn how to speak to a group, which was petrifying because every time I spoke in front of a group, my lower back would seize up. I had broken my lower back in 1992 when I fell off the Grand Canyon. And I spoke, my back would hurt, I would freeze up in post-traumatic PTSD. PTSD. I'll look that up later. I know, post-traumatic stress dysfunction. There you go. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. I ended up having to negotiate with myself. How do I get over my nerves so that I could show people that I was onto something? And the company went sideways. You know, the origin of the company is from Singapore. It was Omega Global at that time, and then now it's Amwell and 0 Point. And I'm very loyal. I'll constantly say, you know, this is the only thing I wear. I wear it every single day. I never take it off. It's always in the bed with me. Because one of the things you have to know is that Wi-Fi will never disappear. They're always going to be engineering it to run their machine. You know, we're constantly producing this heat, this energy that sends messages through the air. I've been studying frequency medicine since 2006, so I know that there's nothing that needs to be corrected. It's just there. I just need to keep it off of me personally. I wrote a post at that point because back then I was really into learning social media. 2008 I started, and I was probably only, you know, 4 concussions at that time. I ended up getting a message from someone who believed me, and thank you, Carol. And I ended up getting her as a customer, and her and her husband, the late Dale Fawcett, ended up telling 1,000 people that I had a good product. And those 1,000 people were all doctors. So I was very lucky. So I saw the potential. You know, you tell a story and someone will hear you. And I just had to learn to tell the story. In 2012, my hair was all falling out. I was going bald. I was 50 years old, and I ended up, the company went sideways. You know, the company was in Singapore, and they were selling frequency energy busters, and I felt it. So Carol and Dale took the product and ran with it, and I just hooked along for the ride, which I've seen many times. I have watched many people take a product, tell it to their friends, and bang, you know, the capacity to share is so great on this planet. And the company went sideways in August 2012, and I was stuck holding on to nothing, except that I knew that I had the vision was energetically mine. And I knew that I did not want to sell a company anymore. I wanted to sell the energy. And so the next company that I got was Carol. Carol sent me the liquid bile cell collagen company, and you know, the rest is history. I mean, I was able to document every single day of me using collagen to grow my hair and teeth, because back then my teeth were ready to fall out of my mouth. And I know a lot of you out there who have bad teeth will hear me, because you know, you're watching your teeth decay and dissolve in your own mouth, and you have nothing, you can't do anything. You just go to the dentist and cry. And I spent many years crying at the dentist saying my teeth are all rotting. And within a month, the liquid bile cell collagen was able to stop that mutation. I was able to feel my teeth regain its traction in my mouth and regenerate. The brittle, dry feeling disappeared, and I was able to feel my teeth solidify and root into my gums, and the inflammation stopped, and I was a happy camper. I was able to share this with everybody. And then that's when the concussions all started, one after another. My mother died. I was in great sorrow. I had to sell my place up in Whistler, and I've been falling down and hitting my head 10 times in the last 10 years. And so here I am sitting in Vancouver BC, Canada, telling you that the company has now dissolved again. And Shackley has taken on the company as one of their new acquisitions, and I am able to get my collagen back. I've seen a lot of different things in my life, and I have to use a product that works. If it doesn't work, there's no point in me having to discuss it with anybody. And I'm very fortunate that I get to be a role model hermit, where I can just share my information and pray for the best. The best is that after 2 months of not using collagen, I lost 30% of my hair. It's all documented in my videos and pictures. Watching your hair thin and fall out is really one of the most interesting sensations in your body. And I know that now that I've put the collagen back into my routine, we'll get a result, and I'll be able to share it with you for the rest of my life, as long as the product is out there. Every collagen product is different. I know, because even within the collagen company that I work for, I have seen the formula reformatted and not work. And in 1985, I did the same thing with Coca-Cola. I drank Coca-Cola for every day for 10 years because I was an addict for the feeling. And they changed the formula in 1985, and I got 6 months where I never used it again because I couldn't find it. It was, absolutely not around. I drank through every pop that was out there, and I didn't like it. My body didn't like it. So I stopped drinking 11 teaspoons of sugar every single fucking day. And now I never drink pop because I was able to break the addiction. That's how sensitive my body is. So I hope that you can believe me when I tell you that regeneration is what I study. I study astrology, regeneration, resonance frequency healing. I have been a massage therapist for 20 years. I palpate, I can eyeball people. I understand where illness comes from, the source of it. And the main thing is understanding that we are all made of protein. And to get the body to structure and format properly, you have to have enough protein in your body. I am using a combination of carnivore, ketosis, plant freedom, not eating plant poisons. I am very sensitive to oxalates. I will be reporting on this every single day because that's really my specialty, and I will, do my best to talk to you as myself. Have a great day wherever you are. I love you all so much. Collagen Babe reporting from Vancouver, BC, Canada. My specialty is in regeneration of teeth and hair, muscle and bone, brains, concussions, hemorrhoids. Have a great day. Love you all.